Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Dan, and thank you for joining me for Ambition, a Minuet in Power. Last time we went through count them, three parties. Gained a lot of stuff, but not really advancing too much in the storyline, I don't think. But we did collect quite a bit of gossip, which I think is going to be the first thing that we do so that we can get money and continue on with our story here. So let's go and visit good old Pierre. You enter Pierre's office to find it more disorderly than usual, with Pierre pacing frantically in the midst of all the chaos. He looks up at you and exclaims, "Ah, madame, thank God you've arrived. I've been keenly checking the winds of public opinion, and my finely honed journalistic senses tell me that our readership desperately cries out for stories concerning the revolution. However, I'm at a loss for such information. Can you get me fresh gossip relevant to that faction in the next 12 days? Then I'll reward you with a moderate reduction in peril, in addition to your regular finder's fee." I don't really care at this particular point because our peril is at 0. Let's just agree. "Ah, fantastique, madame. I just knew you were the perfect woman for the job," he replies with an excited grin. "I already await your success with bated breath. Now then, to business, yes?" "Yes." Right, first, oh my goodness, look at all the gossip we've got here. Alright, so what is less fresh? This is less fresh. And this is even less fresh. Alright, let's sell the freshest ones. So, yeah, I'm not going to bother reading these because they're all pretty much the same. So let's sell this. Pretty good. Alright. This is 60. Let's go for anything that will give us 90. Oh, they're all 60 regardless. Okay. Well, let's sell the relevant stuff then. So we'll sell this one for 60. This one is relevant but not fresh. Same with those. And these last ones are very fresh. So we'll sell these. Alright, and then now we're in a 1 in 4 chance of the public finding out. Well, I'm still gonna go for it. These ones I think I'll leave for a few more days. And I think oh, Crown Gossip. This has got 6 value. Alright, we'll sell him the this one. 1 in 3 chance of public finding out, but it's okay. Alright. "Thank you, madame. This is exactly the kind of salacious trash our esteemed readers require." Yep, peril down, but I didn't really have any peril, really. Alright, so let's see. This one, we'll use this to peddle influence. We will decrease the power of the crown. Alright. And then, yeah, let's get anything that's just old. So all this stuff at the beginning here, we'll just peddle influence because it's not even worth it at this point. Oh, decrease the power of the crown barely. Alright, well, we'll just do it because there's nothing else we're going to do with it. Okay. Gotta be better about this. Oh, I'm sorry. It just changed some of these. So we're still going to decrease the power of these. And the church will decrease. Oh wait, it's still relevant, so we still have a chance to get some cashola out of it later. So maybe we'll come back in a few days. So that'll be it for now. We've got quite a decent amount of money, so I am looking all right so far. You pause to read the social pages of the newspaper while you take your breakfast, sitting at your vanity. One of the benefits for working for Pierre is getting a free newspaper every day. It's then that you nearly spit said breakfast all over your mirror when you read the social pages more closely. Paying attention to the key details, you realize that the stories Pierre wrote using your gossip could be traced back to you. If you can do it, there's a good chance that someone else can too. Oh, gained a decent amount of peril. This, of course, will not do great things for your reputation. Oh, goodness gracious. You put that down in the newspaper and sigh. With that, your day has only begun. Nah. Great! That is incredible. Alright, let's check our wardrobe. Let's see. I think we needed something for church, right? Yeah, we don't have anything really great for church at this point. We've got something for military coming up. We've got something good for that so far. Actually, why don't we just go ahead and visit the dress shop at the moment and see what she's got? Let's see. I want something that's good for the church. This is good for bourgeoisie, but I don't need that as of yet. Do you have anything that's good for the church, my dear lady? No. Not really anything good for the crown either. Nothing extraordinary, at least. But this one's good for the bourgeoisie. This one's good for the bourgeoisie and the revolution. That one's good for the revolution. Alright, let's get this one for the bourgeoisie. We'll buy that. And let's buy this one for the bourgeoisie. I guess we can use it for the revolution as well. Oh, this one's better for the revolution. But this one will do for both, I think. Do we have something similar? We do, but it's similar in look, though. Alright, can we sell something? Anything that I would like to sell? I could maybe sell this one. Alright, yeah. I think I will sell this one. And then we'll buy something for... I think we'll buy this one, the bourgeoisie. And maybe... Oh, this one is good for the revolution. So maybe we'll buy this. And maybe we'll also buy this. Alright, I think we're good. Still got a decent amount of money, which is still good. But having proper dresses is good. We will go to this one, I think. We'll accept this. Alright, and we shall head back out. Music to your ears. Down by the water, you come across an unusual man of many talents. A chance conversation that may hold the power to subtly alter your future. Let's check this out. You decide to spend the day walking alongside the river. Halfway through your walk, you notice the sun hitting the water just right, lending brilliant light to the colorful ships and boats. It's a chance moment that you look as beautiful as a painting. You pause to lean against the railing to take it all in. Nearby, you watch a small private ferry bump into a lavish pleasure craft, igniting a stream of insults and violent oaths from the pilots of the two crafts. Just as the ferryman pulls his oar out of the water to hit someone, you notice that you're not watching the scene alone. A man in black and white with a curious brooch on his jacket is watching the same scene as yourself. Oh, beautiful music, isn't it? He asks quietly. Angelos. I wouldn't call two men threatening the virtue of each other's mothers music. Do you often sneak up on unsuspecting women? And I suppose it is. I think the first one, yeah, hearing two men shout at each other like that doesn't sound like music to me either. I simply cannot agree, he says with a surprising confidence for such an odd statement. You've lost a little... Damn it! There's a musicality to all things. After all, music is mathematics, and mathematics can be found everywhere in the natural world. It's a hobby of mine to seek out new sounds and see if they could be incorporated into my next composition. As chaotic as it seems, even this everyday conflict has a familiar rhythm, order, and tempo, just like music. Ah yes, Angelo Strassner at your service, madame, he says, gesturing to himself. Ah, Yvette Ducot. Charmed, I'm sure. I don't know, does he know us? Would he be charmed by us? I don't think he would care whether or not we're a reporter for Le Trump du Peuple. And Yvette, just Yvette. I don't know. Charmed, I'm sure, I feel like a lot of people just say that. I'm charmed to meet you as well, Madame Ducot. We spoke of music earlier, and I just realized that you may be able to help me. I have a decision that's left me feeling quite divided. I recently finished a new composition. I'm looking for a sponsor who could help me fund the first performance of it, but I don't know which to pursue. As of right now, the two groups with the most influence in the world of music are the church and the bourgeoisie. I'm certain my composition will bring popularity to whoever sponsors it, but I don't know who it would be best for me. What are your thoughts on the subject? We're going to tell him to go with the bourgeoisie since I'm kind of already headed that path. So I'm just going to say that. The bourgeoisie are the best choice. They have ample wealth and a willingness to explore new ideas. That's quite the good point. He nods along, coming round to your idea. I'll start reaching out to my associates in the bourgeoisie, post-haste. And the bourgeoisie have gained a little power. He pauses to check his pocket watch. It seems I should be about my business. Enjoy the rest of your day, Yvette. Angelos excuses himself with a quick bow, and you are once again alone. You look out upon the river, and it seems that the conflict between the two boatsmen has been resolved without anyone being sent to the bottom of the river. Experimentally, you close your eyes and just listen to the noises of the city. Perhaps you're imagining things, but it does almost sound musical. I guess, depending on how you interpret it, I suppose that could be the case. I think she's looking for the rent. You look up at the sound of Camille knocking on your doorframe. Good morning, madame. House's rent is due today. Yep. All right, we'll pay. All right, so let's continue our day, shall we? All right, let's explore Paris once again. I think this time... Shall we continue on with Armand's purpose? You finally found your fiancé Armand, and he's invited you to visit him in his new abode. He claims that he'll be able to explain his mysterious disappearance and what he's been doing all this time. It's a long walk to get to the Armand's address on the western edge of Paris, but compared to the events of the last month or so, it's as easy as to stroll around the block. The neighborhood is a poor one, but filled with the kind of poor who still feel that they can improve their stations. Persons strut proudly down the streets wearing one or two articles of fine clothing over their worn-out ones, seeming almost a parody of the wealthy aristocrats who glide about La Place Royale. To them, these one or two expensive things are both a luxury and a valuable armor against the sneers and derisions of those better off. Time and again, you've seen that the poorer one is, the harder it is to gain someone's trust. In lives like theirs, any scrap of trust could be the difference between survival and complete destitution. That's true. The poorer you are, the harder it is to gain someone's trust. And when you're a poor, especially, getting someone's trust is so crucial. Like, that's why, like, in America, if you're poor, you can't, it's very difficult to get ahead. Like, you need the trust of banks to be able to afford things like homes, or be able to get credit in order to get a credit card to buy things that you might need to get ahead, such as materials for a job or job application, or purchasing a vehicle in order to go to a job and things like that. It's just, when you're poor, it's very, very difficult. Armand must have chosen this address because he wouldn't stand out here. In his fashion of a fine nobleman's jacket and in plainer clothes underneath, he looked like any other proud and desperate man trying to strive for something better. You managed to find Armand's new home. 3 stories tall but thin and leaning to one side. It feels less like a home and more like an old man crippled with age. It reminds you of your own living situation. However, judging from the dust and cracked window panes, he doesn't have anyone like Camille to take care of things. Well, Armand isn't the only one living there. There's also this Johanna woman. You're still uncertain of her role in all of this. Could she be the one who wrote the cryptic letter to him, which you found secreted underneath the floorboards in the kitchen? You knock on the door and hear some movement inside before someone opens just a crack to see who it is. Spotting you, Armand flings open the door and bounds outside. Oh, ma chérie, it's great to see you again. Please come in. You walk in and he takes the cloak from you to hang on a coat rack. The inside of the building is remarkably sparse and without any decorations. It feels more like an outpost than a home. Please make yourself at home. Johanna is out and it's just you and me for the moment. So, oh, but of course. Armand, I don't know how to feel about this Johanna. Can you tell me more? And Armand, I just don't want to talk about her. I want to know more. I don't like her, but I need to know more. Oh, but of course, he replies happily, and a little relieved. You've gained some favor. My friend Charles introduced me to her when I first moved to Paris, and while our organization here has been growing rapidly, I've essentially become her closest confidant. Though she'd never take credit for it, she's the real founder of this society I've become a part of, he says, gesturing to the walls, which are covered in maps and notes. She's clever, tenacious, and she speaks French so well for someone who didn't grow up with the language. You think back on your brief conversations with her, and you never even detected a hint of a foreign accent when she spoke. Why would she put so much effort into sounding exactly like a native French speaker? I'm really glad to see you reacting this way, Armand admits. I was afraid that you'd be jealous of her. After all, if the gossip is true, you've been recently entangled with Louis-Antoine de Saint-Just, the young revolutionary playwright that's so dedicated to their cause that many of his compatriots are afraid of him. I'm not entangled with him. I've met him a few times, and that's about it. Once at a party and once by chance, okay? There's nothing between us. He reads your facial expression and holds his hands up innocently. Please don't take me for a jealous boor, Yvette. As I may have said before, I don't blame you, given the circumstances. I'm more curious than anything, as I've never met him. What's he really like? So, he's exactly as you say, a fiery man who demands dedication from those around him. That sounds exactly like him, actually. He's more than that. He's thoughtful and passionate about defending common people. I did not get that. Antoine is merely a fun diversion for me, no more and no less. I'm gonna go with the first one. That's about what sums him up. Oh, really? Perhaps I'll have to learn a little bit more about him myself. Oh yes, I have something to show you, he says, leading you up 2 creaky flights of stairs to a window. He immediately feels different from the other ones in the house because you can see that the glass here has actually been cleaned and polished. Look out at that all. Oh, look out at all that, he says, gesturing to the city. You're at the very top of a small hill, and all the buildings in this neighborhood are short, lending you a remarkably clear view of Paris. I come here to think every day, to think about the responsibility I have to these people. While I'll never see them all, I can see their houses, their workplaces, and all the other places that serve as the stages for their lives. Few of them will ever have the power to change things, sometimes by the mere circumstances of their birth. Still, that only makes it even more important that I do something right. That's why I joined this group, the Frankish Habsburgian Society. In Austria, the House of Habsburg has managed reforms for more efficient governance, religious tolerance, land reforms, and more. Here in France, we have a battle brewing between 2 disastrous powers. First, there's the aristocracy, who would march our country off a cliff if it allowed them to preserve their privileges for another day, and the revolutionaries, who can only agree on what they wish to tear down, but not on what they'll build afterwards. Her Majesty, our Queen, was born Maria Antonia Josephina Johanna, daughter of the Empress of Austria. Her brother, Joseph II, is the Holy Roman Emperor. If our 2 countries were brought together under a single rule, France would have the resources to solve its immediate crises and the political will necessary to do away with our more backward traditions. Every single day, I look out this window and think of all the people that we could save. I don't know. I mean, those are very lofty and ideal goals, which are great. You know, it's good to have these goals. It's good to try to do things for the betterment of others and for yourself. But, true, it is also treason. I don't know if we should encourage him or if we should bring him down. I would say we should bring him down. You know? I haven't... Yeah, I mean, that's entirely the reason why he's here at all in this shabby place, is because it's treason, and maybe he just needs a kick in the butt to remind him of that. You're right, it's treason, and the highest crime imaginable. Murder and theft are also crimes, but the ancestors of every king and queen in all the world gained their dominions through conquest. Still, years later, we celebrate their crimes as victories. We will break the law, yes, but it's in the service to a good that's greater than any one law. Can't you see that? You have lost favor with Armand. Armand stares silently out the window, looking at Paris and its people. You stare with him. Without a word, he grabs you by the waist and pulls you closer. You rest your head in the crook of his shoulder and realize that you'd nearly forgotten how it felt. The two of you watch the sun set on the city together. The lights of the city slowly appear like a second set of stars. Quietly, he says, I have to leave for a meeting tonight. More secrets and skullduggery. We have something coming up that will involve convincing a lot of people to our cause, and I think you'd be a perfect fit for it. I'll have someone leave a message with Camille when we get close to the date. You can stay here for a while longer if you like. Can I trust you to let yourself out? I kind of like this answer. Nope, I'm going to steal everything you own while you're gone, which is nothing. So I think, pretty sure this is just a fun little flirtatious way of talking. He laughs. Oh, villainous woman, please have mercy. I am but a poor baron who has fallen on hard times. The two of you spend the next few minutes giggling as you chase each other around the house. You keep trying to steal various books and silverware while he keeps trying to put the purloined items back in their proper place. Eventually, he catches you trying to walk away with his broken grandfather clock, and you both collapse in fits of anger. You've gained some favor with Armand. Armand is about to leave before he turns back to you and says, I just wanted to say that I never stopped thinking about you. In fact, I still have all the letters you wrote me locked away in my desk. With a gentle smile, he departs for his meeting, leaving you alone in his house. You relax and assess your situation for a while before leaving yourself. Alone, you walk down the nighttime streets by yourself, considering all you've just learned. Well, this has certainly taken a turn for the exciting, or fantastique. I finally managed to find my fiancée, and now an accomplice to treason. I'm just going to say it's taken a turn for exciting. I don't know what to do, where to go, or how we feel about it yet, but let's just go with it is what it is, and life be what it is, you know? Heady with the thoughts of the adventures that are surely awaiting you and Armand, you head home with a light step. Even the darkest shadows hold no danger for tonight, merely the possibility of further excitement. Alright. Moved on to the next day. Alright. Ooh. More things have popped up for parties, but we're not doing anything just yet. Let's see. We haven't been here, I don't think. Le Grand Dance du Roi, the premier theater in Paris. Le Grand Dance du Roi is a rendezvous location known for its comedies, which tend to be coarse and proletarian, but always lively and never boring. Let's come here for a sec. Today, you decide to explore the Boulevard du Temple. It's the place in the city best known for its theaters. Strolling down the wide tree-lined street, you finally find what you're looking for, Le Grand Dance du Roi. It's the best-known theater in the city, specializing in two things, comedies and skirting the absolute limits of good taste. Out of sheer curiosity, you step inside. There isn't a production going on at the moment, but you see actors and carpenters rushing around and ready the theater for its next show tonight. The frantic energy is only amplified by the sight of a hapless young man trying to corral a dancing monkey back into its cage. The monkey doesn't seem interested in cooperating. When do they feel like cooperating, you know? When you finally tire of watching the monkey shriek at its handler and pelt them with scraps of fruit, you take out your pencil and journal to jot down the address of the theater. It's now available as a rendezvous location. With the address noted down, you hurry home before the crowd start forming outside. You wonder if they'll ever figure out how to control that monkey. Probably not. Definitely not, I would say. This is absolutely delightful. I can't wait to see it in full swing. With the address noted down, you start the walk home, already eager to see one of their shows. Maybe they'll have figured out how to control the monkey by then. Part of you hopes not. I agree. When the monkey's involved, it better not be behaved, because it's better and funnier to witness when it's not under control. You know what I mean? You heard? Alright, so we're cutting down on some of these things here, so I think that's a good thing. We're going to go to every single one of them, I think. Le Grand Taverne de Londres. A luxurious restaurant, this rendezvous location caters to some of the wealthiest and most powerful clientele in all of Paris. It also serves some of the finest food in the city. Try the lamb. Deciding to spend the day exploring Paris, your wanderings take you to a fashionable section of the city, south of your humble home. Just as you feel you've become used to the city's myriad smells, your nose manages to pick up a new surprising scent. Flavorful yet subtle, layered but restrained. You've smelled good food before, but this is something else entirely. Quickening your pace, you find a sign that reads Le Grand Taverne de Londres. This is slightly puzzling as it looks nothing like the rustic taverns you've seen elsewhere in France. Inside, you find a dining room brightly lit by crystal chandeliers and furnished with mahogany tables draped in fine linen tablecloths. A few aristocrats look up from the table at you and you suddenly feel rather underdressed in your day clothes. You pull out your journal and jot the address down. It's now available as a rendezvous location. This feels like the perfect place to visit with someone who cares about fine food, detailed service, and prefers a formal setting. Exquisite food and an elegant atmosphere, this is exactly what I was looking for. You spend a few minutes chatting with the staff and perusing the menu before you head home. Visions of a feast dancing in your head. Perhaps you'll be able to return sometime soon. Yeah, fancy restaurants. Like, I don't like to go, like, really super fancy places because the foods are too... Whoa, what's going on? The political hobbyists of France have been breathlessly following the events of the Estates General over the last few weeks, and their watchful eyes have been led to a stunning revelation. This revelation is that the Estates General has currently accomplished absolutely nothing. While the king has attempted to keep the discussion focused on tax reform to deal with France's crumbling budget, every single debate has stalled out due to fights over voting rights and representation. Members of the Third Estate won't let this issue go, as they're the only estate that pays any taxes under the current system. However, any attempts to change this would be inevitably shut down by the First and Second Estate, who both pay no taxes and each have just as many votes as the Third Estate. That's crazy. But living in America, I feel like there's a lot of people like this, where like the top richest people, they don't really pay a lot of taxes because of the way that their accounting is done, and the poor, they tend not to pay too much because they're poor. They don't hardly have any money. It's the middle class that has money and they pay the most in taxes, it seems. And yeah, it's like the middle class vote is not really the strongest vote, just because the two parties divide us and we're just not united in order to make any effective change, which, you know, that's the way the American system is. It's like, it's a two-party system. Theoretically, there's room for more, but honestly, when the rich are in power and they only hold one of the two sides, it ends up ultimately just being whichever side can sway the other people the best. And it's really not about the lower common people. It's all about the people on top taking as much as they can before they leave, and yeah, they just leave and leave all the baggage and the garbage for everyone else to deal with. Kind of great, right? Great system. Love it. All right. Anyways, back to the game. Yet, the bourgeoisie and the revolutionaries of the Third Estate have been slowly gaining ground in the public eye. Their claims that the system is unfairly balanced ring more true every day as people all across the country starve. Every day, mutters of discontent grow louder and louder. The longer this impasse lasts, the more the tension will build. However, if it keeps building, then it won't be long before something snaps. And so, in Paris, life goes on. You wake up to find a letter waiting for you on your bedside table. This wouldn't be unusual save for the fact that it's sealed in plain, uncolored wax, which hasn't been stamped with a sigil of any sort. Opening the letter, you immediately recognize Armand's handwriting. However, the writing style is remarkably brief for him. and you find yourself instinctively checking for another 3 or 4 pages of text that don't exist. Cher Yvette, Johanna recently finished setting up a meeting place where we can meet with notable individuals who are attending a States General. More importantly, these are persons who are interested in learning more about the goals of our humble society. It sounds to you like some very influential people are genuinely intrigued by this Frankish Habsburgian society business. You read on a little further and find an address. It looks like these events aren't happening very far from your home. Foreign Entanglements is now available to visit on the map. Your knowledge, canniness, and infamy would be an amazing asset to us. I would love to see you there. Je t'embrasse, Armand. You put down the letter and check your calendar. You might be able to visit that place today if you like. You know, he was gone, hasn't done anything for us in forever, and now all of a sudden he wants us to help him out with our influence and our network, just for no reason other than the fact that, you know, it could help him out. Because he didn't really say anything more than, hey, you know, I'd love to see you, but, like, really the bulk of it was, hey, there's this thing going on, and I want you to be there. What does that do for us? It does nothing. It just feels very improper, in my opinion. But who am I to know? Who am I to say, you know? Alright, so I think this is the last place we haven't been to except for this place, the Le Place Royale. But this one's a place for gaining gossip. I guess if you don't have or having trouble getting money, you could go to this place and get more. Oh, speaking of which, I should go and sell my my gossip while I can. You enter Pierre's office to find it more disorderly than usual. Oh, does he have something else that he needs from us? Yeah, he wants bourgeoisie gossip. Alright, so he wants to get me fresh gossip. Yeah, okay. Ooh. Bourgeoisie gossip. Alright, so I want... Oh, we do have bourgeoisie gossip, but let's sell this shocking stuff first. Alright, let's sell the ones that are selling for 60. So we'll sell these. Alright, and then we'll sell the bourgeoisie gossip, because this is the one that's going to give us the bonus. Alright, so that's the bonus that he promised us. Peril down, which is good because we had increased peril. Let's see. We have shocking military gossip, but it's kind of getting old. So I'm not sure if it's worth. Let's see. If we sell this, there's a 1 in 4 chance of the public finding out. So maybe we won't. Maybe what we do... Oh, well, for sure these old ones, what we do is we peddle influence. So let's make the church... Let's move the church towards the revolution. Barely. Okay. And let's decrease the power of the military. And the church gossip. Let's peddle influence and decrease their power. And we'll just peddle influence for all of it. Alright. Now let's go home. And now that we're back home, I think I should have done this earlier, but... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You pause to read the social pages of the newspaper while you take breakfast, not your vanity. One of the benefits of... Yep, okay. Great, now we're... Oh man, we just increased our peril yet again. Alright, great. Lost credibility because of it too. Goodness gracious, guys. Goodness gracious. I think what we're going to do is we're going to rest so we can lose this exhaustion and get the most out of what we can for our dress and increasing our credibility. So let's try to up that. That credibility, those credibility checks that we get through, those come in clutch. So let's accept this and we'll just go to it today. This is for the bourgeoisie. Oh, I did not mean for those to rhyme. But anyways, this one goes up by 15. So if we wear this, we'll increase our credibility by 15, which is great. That would be great. Alright, so we're definitely going to wear this one. Let's go to the party. And we'll just head straight for the party. Alright, credibility up. Okay, we got some cheap bourgeoisie gossip. We will go ahead and spend the 10 livres. Increase credibility, lower peril. And we will continue on. Alright, this one is the gambling. This one's the lost coin. This one, a simple trade. A physician eager to court a particular young lady is hoping that you'll be able to help him make a good first impression. It might be possible to turn this request into valuable information. And then business as usual. This one's got a decent chance at gossip here. A gregarious woman appears to have exactly the sort of rumors you're looking for, but first you'll have to stave off the blundering boast of a young sugar magnate. So this one has a chance at 15 to 0 credibility. Ooh, minus 20 to 0. This one has a lower, so we'll try this one. With business as usual. You find yourself in the middle of a conversation with a particularly energetic guest. She flits easily between social circles and has a disarming laugh that seems to make people feel comfortable enough to just trust her implicitly. Perhaps you can practice such a laugh later. She's currently in the middle of regaling you with a rumor that she's heard over the course of her various dalliances. It feels likely to be of the outrageous sort, but relevant to the bourgeoisie.
Oh-ho!
Just as she's about to reach the story's climax, a man suddenly enters your conversation. Good afternoon, mesdames. Allow me to interrupt you for a moment to propose a toast. To my sugar importing company. We're having a very successful year, you see. Ah, you'll both be so excited to hear what we have planned for the next season, he says, not even waiting for either of you to respond. If this boor keeps talking, you'll never get to hear the end of the story. This is a medium credibility challenge. This could go either really well or really poorly, but I'm gonna do it regardless. Ah, yes, where was I? Your storytelling companion says, trying to remember where she'd left off. Well, if you say so, I don't see the harm in it, the intruder mumbles. Now I remember, she says, and resumes telling her story. You've gained a piece of outrageous bourgeoisie gossip. With her story told and its relevant details memorized, you stay and listen to the encroaching entrepreneur's various boasts about his company's success. He is every bit as unbearable as you initially suspected. Sometimes, it's awful to be right. Yeah, it does feel like that sometimes. Like, you know, you have a certain view of somebody, and then when it's a negative view and they live up to that view, you're just like, ugh. Really? I was hoping to be wrong there. Thankfully, you managed to find a way to tactfully excuse yourself and get as far away from him as possible. Alright, who have we got here? A commercial intrigue. A rather run-of-the-mill interaction with a lone bourgeoisie man at a party. You find yourself having many like it in the future. A simple trade. A physician eager to court a young woman. Okay, I think this was what we saw earlier. This one, lost coin and sufficient funds. Every group has ways of measuring one's worth and whether they deserve to belong. With the aristocracy, it's a title. With the church, it's faith. With the bourgeoisie, it's simply money. One guest here is here to remind you of such things. It's not worth, I think, just for cheap bourgeoisie gossip. We have a chance at shocking gossip with this one, so we'll move with this one, I suppose. Alright, a man clearly nervous approaches you. Pardon, Madame Ducot. You don't know me, but I've come to you to request a favor. I don't know exactly what I could provide in return, but I am a successful physician. I attended this party with the express intent of introducing myself to one particular woman, but I still haven't managed to do so, and it appears that she's planning to leave at any minute. Is there any way you could help provide some sort of introduction? But before you ask, yes, I've already realized how strange it is to approach one unfamiliar woman because I'm too nervous to approach a different one. It's merely that, well, I don't know. I suppose that fear has always been divorced from reason. If a stranger is asking you for this kind of help, it really must mean that you've become well established in Paris. So, at least there's that. It also seems like it could help you obtain some gossip about the bourgeoisie. And this is a medium credibility challenge. Before I make this introduction, I need to ask you a few questions about your business. Alright, let's just go for it. About my business? What of it? He asks. What am I saying? Of course I can do that. I only ask that you make haste. It looks like she's going to leave the party at any minute. His enthusiasm makes it easy to guide the conversation around. While I can't tell you the exact identity of his clients, it's become easy to use this information to fill in the gaps in the scraps of a rumor that you heard a few days ago. You've gained a piece of outrageous bourgeoisie gossip. The moment you've memorized the rumor, you take him by the elbow and glide him over to the object of his affections. You do your best to make his introduction as appealing as possible. The opening of their conversation is inept, but earnest. With your end of the bargain upheld, you take your leave of both of them. Alright, so we've got 2 outrageous gossips. So we will take that and go to the bank with it. But later, because we have one more party that we have in reserve here. So, let's see. This one is a military party, so we should wear something suitable for military. Got plus 13 here, 8, 10, and 14. We will go with this one, the 14. We'll lose 5 credibility, but we'll still increase by 9, which overall is good. And then we'll bribe again with another 10 at the door. Alright. And that brings us to 89 credibility, and now we're at 19 peril. Alright, so let's see here. Well, failing to fit in, we saw this earlier. So it doesn't seem like there's anyone that's like super important. This lost coin shows up from time to time. Division within the ranks. This one has Elizabeth and Antoine favorability. And this one, an imposter. Oh, the doppelganger. You catch sight of the strange doppelganger that you spotted before. This time, the time has come to put an end to this loathsome charade. We should definitely do this one, I think. You freeze in your tracks when you spot her. Ever since your last encounter, you've been looking for her. This is the woman who has been imitating you, and even had the audacity to try to take out a vast loan in your name. Now you've spotted her talking to another party guest, but she hasn't noticed you yet. Let's sneak up on her. Ah, it's so lovely to finally meet you, Madame Decaux, says the guest speaking with the imposter. Now that you're closer to your double, you have to admit that her resemblance to you is uncanny. Well, I have to admit that I've been extremely busy since I arrived in Paris. So many people have offered me their help, and it's been wonderful to take them up on their generosity. Madame Decaux, there appears to be someone behind you. Who? It is, how do I say, it's you, madame. The imposter rolls around to see you and is greeted by your glaring countenance. Perhaps I should leave this discussion to the two of you, the party guest says, already slinking away from you both. With that, he skulks away, leaving you with your double. The imposter looks you up and down, but doesn't even seem perturbed by your presence, or at least she is doing a great job of hiding it. I don't suppose it's too late to say you have the wrong woman? Yeah, it's a little late for that. Well then, at least let me explain myself, she replies calmly. You're an incredibly lucky woman. People are ruined by Parisian high society every day, but you happen to be ruined in a new way that actually gave you opportunities. I realized one day how much I looked like you, and thought, she was given a second chance. Why don't I deserve one too? Of course, the first thing she did with the second chance was to try and take out a mountain of loans in your name, but she seems to be willing to gloss over that important detail. I managed to collect some money from sympathetic nobles, and I've heard an interesting secret, but those bank loans never came through for some reason. So what exactly do you want from me? Alright, so this medium credibility challenge, always I go with this if I can, but I want the rumors, the coin, and for you to stop pretending to be me. You really want all that? I suppose this couldn't last forever. C'est la vie. She pulls a sizable coin purse from her waist pockets and hands it to you. She then proceeds to explain a rumor that could be valued indeed. You've gained a piece of shocking military gossip and gained 73 livres. I guess I should be on my way then, she says, looking you up and down. It wouldn't do for the two of us to be seen together. She leaves and you're quite a bit richer for it. There's also the true benefit, which is that you're no longer sneaking about Paris, sullying your good name. Oh, that she's no longer sneaking about Paris, sullying your good name. With her gone, you look around the party to see if there's anything else you can get done before things wrap up. So we got one more thing. I was wondering when that was going to pop up because I wanted to see it. Let's see here. Small wager. This is the illegal gambling again. Pulling rank. I don't know. That has just cheap gossip. This one also has cheap gossip, martial intrigue. I think division in the ranks is the only one so far that has any kind of like real lasting implications. So let's go and do this one. This is the one that has the Antoine and Elizabeth favorabilities. Two men without uniforms of any kind are talking with each other next to a cannon. They seem extremely tense, and this disquiet draws you towards them like a bayonet towards a heart. I've heard some sincerely disquieting things about the goings-on with the aristocracy, and I simply don't know who else I can talk to. Then it seems we are in the same boat, mon ami. I have heard similarly distressing things about the revolutionaries from my friends who are closer to such circles. However, it'd bring dishonor upon my name to even voice such a thing. We cannot afford to become enemies of either the crown or the revolution. You're not entirely sure what it'd mean to be declared an enemy of the crown, but if your encounters with Viscountess de Foix are any indication, it'd be less than pleasant. Agreed. We shan't discuss this further for the sake of preserving our honor. The man on the left proclaims, with that outrageous seriousness that men sometimes muster for the smallest of contrivances. Honey, Yvette, that's called male bravado. It's clear that these men are so bursting with the desire to talk that they can scarcely contain themselves. It'd be trivial to extract that information from them, should you make the attempt. However, there's truth to the danger they spoke of. If you take these secrets, members of either the crown or the revolution will surely know. In fact, we should disperse for now, his companion replies. There's no such thing as too much caution when it comes to preserving one's honor. To this, the other nods in stout agreement. This is your chance, but who should you follow? I think we follow the one with the crown, because I guess so far we're in good with the revolution, and Antoine is part of the revolution, and we're already got his favorability, so we may as well screw over the favorability for Elizabeth since we've never even met her, so whatever. You follow the royalist at a distance until he's far enough from his friend to not be overheard. Specifically, you arrange it so that you chance across him while he's acquiring new refreshments in a tent. He's wisely chosen a glass of white wine, which is a better choice in this heat than a heavy red. Are you as parched as I am, madame? He asks when you pick up a glass of the same. It's a cheap ploy, but identical drinks make an easy conversation starter. You find it a little harder to gain his confidence that you'd initially guessed, but you made quick headway once you pretended to be innocently ignorant of politics. Once he no longer viewed you as a threat, he was more than willing to tell you about the rumor that's been bothering him. Gained a piece of outrageous crown gossip. You carefully memorize the details of the gossip, but you're also keenly aware that you're not going to be the last person he talks to about this. Simply put, he's bad at keeping a secret, which means that your part in this is likely to come to light, especially to those connected to the crown. But if he's telling everybody else, why would they lower it down to us? Yeah, Madame Lebrun favor down. Okay, well, whatever, I guess. Conversation that follows afterward is a little stilted. Normally you'd stay in order to chat and make him feel at ease, but you can tell that he's realizing that he's made a grave mistake. You leave before you get drawn into the throes of his growing panic. Unsure of the time, you're already beginning to search to see if there's anything else you can do at this party before it finishes. Alright, one left. Small wager. Martial intrigue. Scattershot. This is different. Lost coin. Let's take a look at the scattershot. The sister of an artilleryman seems to know simply everything that her brother overhears in the barracks. But to learn more, you have to divert a tiresome boor who keeps interrupting. Alright, we'll take a look at this one. At this moment, you're in the middle of chatting with a woman who seems to be in possession of exactly the kind of rumors you're looking for. Her brother is an artilleryman who also happens to gamble like a fiend and loves telling stories about the last indecorous goings-on that he overhears in the process. While she hasn't got to the details yet, you know that whatever outrageous rumors she's heard will concern the military. Just as you're about to learn what you need to know, another woman suddenly wanders into your conversation, gesturing to a flower arrangement on a nearby table. Oh, have you heard that these flowers were gifted by the Duchess de Torzel? I had no idea. Are they from her personal gardens? Your conversation partner replies. You can feel the conversation pulling away, but you don't yet have what you need. And then this is a medium credibility challenge. Ah, that ties in so well to the story that my friend was just telling. The story I was telling? Oh, I had no idea. Please do go on, the interloper replies, almost disoriented by the revelation that other people have interesting things to say. Yeah, sometimes some people just feel like they have way more to say than other people. Like YouTubers and Let's Players. Ah, yes, where was I? Your storytelling acquaintance says before launching into further detail on the latest she's heard from her brother. You gained a piece of outrageous military gossip. While you've carefully committed her story to memory, you still need to remain in this conversation for a little while, as exiting the moment you get what you want would arouse far too much suspicion. Just as you feared, this new interloper is extremely tiresome. Eventually, you manage to extract yourself from the conversation without absorbing too much insipid details about the Duchess de Torzel's gardener. Thank God. The writer knows. Thank, period, God, period. Alright, end of the day. Got cheap military gossip, shocking military gossip, outrageous crown gossip, and outrageous military gossip. Lost one Elizabeth favor, which is fine because I still haven't met her. So, man, I feel like we've been through a lot. Oh, is it Sunday again? Do we have to pay for the rent? Yes, we do. All right, let's pay rent, and we will go to our calendar. So we have another military event available, which I think oh, there's 2 of them available. Okay, so we can either go to a military event or we can go to a bourgeoisie event. I think we will decline the military one and we will accept the bourgeoisie one because we were just at a military one. So, all right, I think we will stop here because we went through 2 parties and my mouth is getting very sore and very dry, and I'm getting very tired, and I'm starting to get afraid that I'm going to be losing my voice if I continue on. So with that, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope that it has enticed you to come to the next one, and I hope to see you there. Until then, everyone, bye.